everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Globe Interviews. Today, I have with me Ersin Taskin, CTO of Heroes Chained and Inventuna Games. How are you, Ersin?
I'm great. Summer is going great. So thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure. So let's jump right into it. So can you tell us a bit about your background and your journey into blockchain?
I have a BS degree in electrical and electronics engineering from the Boğaziçi University. I've been in blockchain since 2017. I started, my first contact was reading the Nakamoto's paper that started it all. So I was impressed by the way he solved the double spend problem in a decentralized manner. But then I saw some issues and I checked the ecosystem, if anybody talking about those issues, and to my surprise, it was not, broadcasted much. So I joined the cryptography mail list and started talking about it. If you Google super rational attack, for example, you can get a glimpse of what I've been talking about. But I was busy coding, developing for the conventional software company that I co-founded. And I pulled my brother in 2017 into blockchain. He was mostly interested in the trading part while I was busy with the scientific part. With the 2018 bear market, he started to think about use cases. So he was my co-founding partner in our conventional software company, which was one of the top 10 software companies of Turkey. So he's business oriented. He thinks about use cases. He's technical too. And he said he's an avid gamer. Oh my God, he's been gaming all his life still. And he told me, bro, gaming is the best use case for blockchain. That was like 2018 and everything. But as experienced entrepreneurs, we waited for the right time. And late 2020, end of 2020, he said, bro, now is the right time. It was like Axie Infinity, the early P2E guys. So beginning of 2021, like last year, we started how we can free ourselves from our software company. Q2, we started to build Inventuna Games, which is a gamified developing, company. And well, we're gamers. He's especially gamers. We're developers, software developers, but we're not game developers. So my brother, contacted Mevdink. Mevdink is British Turkish. He is huge. He has over 3 decades of game development experience. He has developed globally award-winning games for Ubisoft, Activision, Nintendo, you name it, in the UK. And he comes to Turkey in 2000 to kickstart the Turkish gaming industry, which is one of the top countries in the world in game development now, thanks to him. Okay. So he happened to be our neighbor in the Istanbul Technical Park University, Istanbul Technical University Techno Park. So we were friends for 20 years. We saw him grow the Turkish gaming industry. So we go to him. We tell him about the blockchain revolution, how it helps the gamers' problems of ownership and everything. He says, wow, that's a revolution. So I want to be a part of it. So we got him on board with this huge experience of game development, with his team building skills and everything. He's cult in Turkey. We also have our friends from CBK Soft co-founders, computer scientists with successful background in Silicon Valley, founding one of the best software companies of Turkey. So we also convinced them. So that was the story. We founded Inventuna Games around Q2 2021, and Heroes Chained is our first game. Yeah, so that's the story how we got involved with blockchain.
Okay. Yeah, so you mentioned gaming is the best use case for blockchain. Can you tell us why?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, if you played games for like years, World of Warcraft, for example, you spend your time and money like to earn game assets like heroes and everything. And they have a value. There are people out there that are willing to pay to get those heroes. Like time is money, you spend so much time or even money, but it was not legal. The ownership belongs to the game studio. But you're still trying to sell it because it has value, you need money But Blizzard was on constant fight to ban the accounts on eBay and everything, and there was hacking stories and everything. Now with the NFT technology and blockchain technology, we have this, peer-to-peer trade possibility and cryptographic proof of provenance, authenticity, and everything. So the first thing is now we can develop, games and environments where gamers truly can own their game assets legally and freely, independent of the game developers. And they can trade them easily on open markets, third-party markets. So I think that's the first thing that comes to my mind. And then it comes, with the metaverse evolution, interoperability among games is now more stressed. Gamers want that. So NFT makes it easy to develop interoperability. Governance. Gamers, the drivers of the game economy, now have the chance to govern the game as well. That's the whole beauty, one of the beauties about decentralization. So, and it also security and everything. And also game studio perspective, it's easier to raise funds to develop games, which is important. And game development is all about developing communities, and blockchain is very good at developing communities as well. So you can use that. And also, since blockchain offers a lot to the gamers, and gamers are the customers. So in the long term, the game studios that provide appealing services to the gamers will win. So that's also attractive to game studios as well. And also we have 3.2 billion gamers out there. With the pandemic, we've been over 3 billion. And according to a report by Accenture, it's about $200 billion business per year. That's a lot. That's more than movies and music in total. Mm-hmm. So I think 3 billion gamers, that's what I can safely call mass adoption, I believe. It's almost half the population in the world. So yeah, so gaming can help blockchain mass adoption as well. It's not easy, but it promises to help. So to wrap up, I think these are the reasons why we believe that gaming is the best use case for blockchain, and vice versa.
So you mentioned your background in electronic engineering, and you made the kind of jump into software development. So I was wondering, are the skills transferable between the two fields?
Not all, but yeah, I think I got a lot from electronics engineering. First, the story is interesting. In my time, the only criteria to be admitted to a university in Turkey was the university entrance test score, nothing else. It was a central test. Every student had to take that test. And you had to prepare your ordered wish list of departments, universities and departments before the test. And when I was 18, just facing this test, I didn't know what profession to take, which was sad. Which is something I don't want for my kids maybe, but so I knew it would be something quantitative, engineering, medicine, whatever. So I applied a simple algorithm. So what is the highest point requiring profession and university? It was Boğaziçi University Electrical and Electronics Engineering Department at that time. So I wrote it as the first option.
Wow.
And then what's the second point requiring profession? Computer science. So I wrote, it's Boğaziçi University Computer Science. And then third, medicine. I wrote the highest. So electronics engineering, second option, computer science, third option, medical, doctor.
Oh, wow.
So I performed well, and I got myself into electronics engineering.
Well done.
Without knowing what I wanted. But the second semester of my first year, I took the lecture of computer programming from the legendary professor James Tsai, and he taught computer programming so beautifully, like what computers are, their machines, their systems, and how you talk to them and everything. I said, wow, I still have goosebumps. I said, wow, wish I had my one mathematics question wrong in the test so that I could go to my second choice. So that's how I started coding myself amateurly. I finished electronics engineering. It also helped me a lot. It taught me a lot of mathematics. I selected the controls, system controls option rather than communications and electric power and everything, which was closer to software development. Once you have so much training with legendary professors, you can't help the impact. So when I look at Bitcoin, for example, I see a state machine, a system, a state machine. UTXO database is the state of Bitcoin, who owns what table. So when I see the blockchain, I see when I look at the blockchain transaction, I see a transaction that changes the state of the system. And when I look at the blockchain, I see this ordered log of transactions, and etc. When people talk about Genesis block, I see the initial conditions of the system. And yeah, so I found myself interested in the consensus mechanism part of blockchains, probably due to my education from electronics engineering, delving deep into the technology. Even though I'm writing a smart contract or reading a smart contract, I always have in mind how the consensus mechanism works under the hood. So I think that's the part of the electronics engineering part of me that's still here with me.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So you've been in the industry for over 20 years now, right?
Yeah.
So what have been your key lessons and takeaways from this, and how do you apply this in your day-to-day as CTO of Inventuna?
First of all, we're trying to disrupt, Web 2.0 and Web 3 evolution, but we're actually trying to disrupt some part of it. And I see as a software developer that the basic principles of software development in Web 2 are very sound and have been very successful. The design patterns, the techniques we use, like object-oriented, solid principles and everything. So, for example, when I started looking at the code developed by many Unity developers out there, I saw that some of them were really missing the basic points of object-oriented programming, for example, or solid principles. So I would say we try to stick to object-oriented programming, solid principles, and some of the techniques, design patterns of conventional software development, and it helps a lot. For example, in the Heroes Chained game development, we invested time initially, a long time, on the framework that we're going to use to further develop the game. Because we want Heroes Chained to be a long-term project, almost endless, with expansion packs. It's not about having too many dungeons, more worlds, races, and everything, but the game mechanics and gameplay experience we plan to evolve over time. It starts with a mini game, then it's a real-time battling, and with maybe spell cards, and then ultis and everything. So these are the experiences, technical experiences we are using on GameFi development, both game development and blockchain development. Apart from that, I have learned myself that you should be privileged to do the job that you love doing. Then work is not a work. And you love learning it yourself with the internet. The guys of today are so lucky that internet has evolved to what it is today in terms of learning. So the passion to learn comes with the passion to do what you're doing. So that's also my fundamental principle.
So let's talk more about Heroes Chained. So it's set apart from other blockchain games. So instead of play to earn, you guys are play and earn. So can you talk a bit more about this?
Yeah. So when we started our journey in Q2, seriously, we took a look at what's on. Axie Infinity was very successful, and we're thankful to the Axie Infinity guys. And I'm also thankful to Trung Nguyen, for example, the CEO of Axie Infinity. We had a chat like 2 weeks ago, I believe. He shared his experience on play to earn and play and earn, for example. So we're thankful to icebreakers like CryptoKitties, Axie Infinity. But when we studied them early, we realized that the gameplay experience might not sustain the economy. Where do you find the money to pay the gamers in play to earn when the hype is gone? So We had Mevding, the legend from the video games industry, bringing us all the best practices, the experience of the video games industry, which is successful in sustaining economies. We're talking about $200 billion yearly income and 3 billion gamers out there. So we realized that if the game is good, we can, from the best practice of the gaming industry, we can sustain the play to earn. And we called it play and earn. And in essence, time is money, your time is your money, my money is my time. And 3 months' time is the same in the United States, Germany versus Vietnam, okay? Or in the developed countries, in the underdeveloped or developing countries, rich versus poor. But $300 is not worth the same. For someone in America, it can be a bill for dinner for one night, or it can mean a lot in Vietnam, for example. So even though time is the same, money doesn't value the same. So in a gaming context, for example, a Vietnamese gamer can spend the 3 months' time to do the dungeons, explore, gather tier 1 resources, refine them to tier 2 resources, craft gear and everything to make this legendary sword with beauty and utility in game, performance and everything. Then another gamer in the United States would want to pay $300 for that sword instead of spending that 3 months' time and start applying to a clan with the sword, or joining a raid, or starting his quest line and everything. So that's the whole idea about the sustainability. Some people are willing to pay for the time of some other gamers due to this organic imbalance between the income levels of countries versus the equivalency of time flowing. So that was the first part. The second part, I'm working on a consensus mechanism which I call proof of Turing. If you Google super rational attack, you're going to see my ideas on decentralization that I posted on the cryptography mail list. And proof of work, proof of stake, proof of storage, proof of CPU, and derivatives are all proof of cash, I call them, because proof of X, where X is a resource which you can buy. So I propose proof of human consensus mechanism class. So like proof of Turing, proof of KYC, proof of biometrics, but proof of Turing is the interesting one, I believe, which is permissionless and everything. It's about gameplay by gamers. We have detectors, Turing test. Turing test is when a human detector or interrogator is talking to two entities on WhatsApp or Telegram, for example, on text, and trying to tell, and one of them is human, one of them is AI, but the human interrogator tries to find out which is human and which is AI. If the detector can detect human from AI, the AI fails the test, fails faking human. Okay, so that's a Turing test. And we know that AI technology has quite some time to pass the Turing test in a consistent manner. So our gamers, we got two types of gamers, the detector gamers and the validator gamers or staker gamers. They are matched randomly through VRF technology, similar to that in Algorand, for example. So, and they're playing and talking with microphones open. And if the detector is convinced that the other party is a human being, they can do cameras open if they will. He approves that he's human. And the gameplay or the chat they had together fuels the anti-Sybil part of consensus rather than proof of stake and proof of work. So the gamers secure the consensus and they get the transaction fees in return. And the transaction fee is $1 trillion business in the world. Even the crypto, it's billions of dollars of business going to miners and stakers. And this time it goes to gamers. So that's also sustainable income for gamers. And it's like, you got cash, we got people, we're gamers, we're guild. We drive the metaverse economy, we secure it, and we get the transaction fees approach. So that's what I'm working on at the moment as well. So Heroes Chained in the long term can be utilizing that as well.
Okay, so in the proof of Turing, so are there any penalties, let's say, if someone validates someone who's not a human?
Yeah, we have we have a game theoretical approach as well. It's a very detailed topic. I'm going to be publishing my document on it, article on it. But the detector, first of all, just does the detecting part, and it will not get any incentive or income from the consensus mechanism for saying AI is human. It just does the detecting part. And also, from game theoretical perspective, if he ruins the system, he ruins himself. He gets penalized, and he ruins the system from which it can get transaction fees. And they're also randomly matched through VRF, and the rest is a little technical.
So can you explain how users can utilize NFTs and tokens within Heroes Chained?
Yeah, remember I told you that with Heroes Chained we introduced the play and earn concept as opposed to play to earn, and in a nutshell it's game first for GameFi. And unlike dogs that we love, we're visual animals. So a great game has to be great visually as well, immersive game. Therefore, we have found Onurcan Çaylı and convinced him to become our art director. Onur has graduated from the Academy of Art University in San Francisco. He created the White Walkers race for Game of Thrones. That's amazing. Impressive, right?
Yeah.
He worked for Marvel, DreamWorks, Sony Pictures, all these guys. Marvel vs. Capcom, Sonic Boom, Rise of Relics, many great games, and also Hollywood movies as well. So Onur built a great team underneath, and so he's creating the metaverse and characters and everything for us, the game-changing parts for us. So our NFTs will be high-quality artworks to begin with. So even though we will have NFTs with utility in the game, they will have specific artworks. We started NFT sales. So everything, unique and precious in the game metaverse is in the form of NFT, of course, like play to earn. So we use the same NFT and token mechanics of play to earn. That part, earning part, is the same in play and earn. But the difference is the quality of the artworks and the game first approach. We are now doing, actually, I think today is the last day for application. We're selling our special unique hero race called Mainhara. Onur created it himself, the race. Like he created the White Walkers race from Game of Thrones. It's a unique race. We have this Middle Earth theme in Heroes Chained, like we have elves, dwarves, orcs, humans, and everything. And also we have Mainharas. So Mainharas is something that you will not be able to find in other games or movies. And we will have 10,000 Mainharas till the end of time. So it's fixed cap, yes. And in this first round, we sell the first 1,000 of them. It's overbooked, so the first 500 is first come, first serve. The second 500, we're gonna have a raffle-based system. So Mainhara will have some advantages in the game and also passive income as well. So I encourage the people to refer to our Heroes Chained website for more information. So we are also releasing our mini game version, like P2E game or DeFi gamification version for the Mainhara holders. And you can also buy Mainhara secondhand only. The Mainhara will not be available in the game. You can't earn it or buy it in game, so it's going to be scarce. And also you can only buy them with Hack Token, our in-game token. And Hack Token is both the in-game currency and the governance token of Heroes Chained, and it has a fixed supply of 100 million. So we wanted to have this deflationary, simple Bitcoin-like currency model, not too complicated, whose value can be easily felt by the traders, by the economy. Very simple, as the economy of the game grows, so does the value of hack tokens, since it's fixed supply. Then we will, I believe, sell land in Q2. It will have its own, advantages to the holders. So it's game first approach with play to earn mechanics and DeFi as well. So DeFi is also integrated. For the other races like humans, elves, orcs, or dwarves, we will be doing airdrops, mostly for hack token stakers. I believe that's the plan. And also we will have our closed beta release after the minigame end of Q2. So the closed beta players, it's a privilege to play closed beta. They will have some airdrops we call fair drops, because they're going to play the game, help us improve it. So we will select those from, I think, main hero holders and hack token holders. So we're going to airdrop to those people. And then we will release the full release end of Q3. And then we will keep expanding the game with expansion packs. As I mentioned earlier, we're not going to introduce new worlds and dungeons and races only, but also new game mechanics to have this deep to master, easy to learn, but deep to master game experience for the gamers out there.
Amazing. So it seems like you guys are really on the road to meeting all your timelines on your roadmap.
So far, yeah, we've met all our roadmaps so far, yeah. Amazing. From day one, we announced the timeline roughly and in quarter basis, and we kept our promise so far.
So congratulations. It seems like you've really met all the timelines in your roadmap. So can you talk a bit more about your big milestones so far?
Yeah, we started Q2 last year with a roadmap, on quarterly based roadmap. And yeah, we've been following it like 100% so far. It's not easy. Since summer, we gathered the team in summertime. We started development in summertime, and we selected the mainnet. We studied the L1 mainnet. So we didn't study the L2 solution. We're too much into decentralization. And now that we have good L1s like Avalanche, Solana, Algorand maybe. So we chose Avalanche, and also we aimed a mainnet backer. We have innovative ideas, and we wanted to collaborate with the mainnet technical team and business development team closely. And so we wanted to have this mainnet investment relationship, organic relationship. So Avalanche, agreed, and so they're our backers. We met that milestone on time, and also we participated in the Avalanche hackathon. It was not written on the roadmap, but we had that in mind, and we won the hackathon. We're the champions of the first ever Avalanche hackathon, and in this Avalanche Summit now, we're sponsors of of the Avalanche hackathon. I'm going to be doing a workshop first day for the new hackathon participants. So that was a milestone, an important milestone. And our idea was interesting. It was on January the 17th on both CTFi and Avalanche. Avalanche is the launchpad, I would say, of Avalanche ecosystem. And CTFi is, I believe, number one or one of the best IGO platforms for gaming. It's incredible. We were very also happy with both Avalanche and CTFi. So it was when the bear hit hard, and Sin City on CTFi had to postpone their IDO just before us. So we had to face the bear. And after Sin City's decision, which was fair due to market conditions, we didn't even think about postponing our IDO because it was written on, we had announced it. And we broke records on both CTFi, fastest second round, highest number of participants. And also all-time records still, and we broke records for on Avalanche. It was $128 million staked for $1 million raise. So it was the highest volume staked and everything, almost like 30,000 participants. Yeah, that was a milestone, very successful one. In 1 month time, we were listed on Huobi, which was one of the targets, first central exchange target. And we were rated by third-party independent rating institutions as #1 game IDO of January cryptography ratings, for example. And in terms of development, I think I might say we're also doing very well on roadmaps. So we're coming from the conventional software development business where roadmaps are important. We have like lean, like agile, scrum methodologies. We're used to it. We've done the same with NFT sales, and we even achieve more than the roadmap, like the hackathon championship, for example, or the mini game. We didn't, promise a mini game for the early NFT buyers, but we had this beautiful, graphically beautiful mini game on top of that. I think we will be keeping our promises on the roadmap, which is beta release end of Q2. Full release end of Q3, and then the expansion packs, interoperability, and everything.
Okay, yeah, well, when you make a promise, you stick to it, don't you?
Yeah, that seems to be a best practice from the conventional sectors.
Yeah, absolutely.
It turns out that sticking to your roadmap, keeping your promises, is really a good best practice. Very fast, we became the #1 game on Avalanche ecosystem. In terms of community size, we have by far the highest number of followers on Twitter, the highest number of members on Telegram, Discord, and very active as well. And we became one of the top 3 games on Avalanche in terms of market cap. Sometimes we're #2, sometimes #3, depends on who's doing NFT sales and everything. And despite the fact that we're the youngest among the top 3. So yeah, I think that when you keep your promises, and if you have a good team, of course, other parameters are there. If your game is good, the community responds duly.
Oh, thank you. Congratulations also.
Thank you.
Let's talk more about Avalanche. So we're in Barcelona now for the Avalanche Summit. Yeah. So could you tell us a bit more about your experience with Heroes Chained and Avalanche?
Okay, as I said in our roadmap, we aimed to have a tight partnership with the mainnet and have a mainnet backer as the leading backer. And so we're pretty much into decentralization, and we're too technical, I would say, to level with L2 solutions, while we have nice L1 solutions out there. So we studied L1s, and we don't have time to study all in detail, but we picked Avalanche and Solana as the both top 2 L1 solutions. We had to choose one. It's not an easy choice. We're bullish on both Avalanche and Solana. We're believers in both mainnets, but due to some reasons, we just happened to choose Avalanche, and we're happy with that. Both are very fast, and their capacity is high. I personally like the consensus algorithm of Avalanche a lot. The Avalanche consensus mechanism, the snowball mechanism, it's very fast. I think it's one of the milestones in the consensus mechanism's history. And also like the subnet approach of Avalanche to horizontal scaling. I like the lean style. Again, best practice from the conventional software industry. Avalanche leaves the decision to the developers themselves. They say the developer knows the best. He's the subject matter of his own domain. If I'm a game developer, I know game development myself. Let the game developer decide on which subnet to deploy his system, or to create a subnet of his own and play with the parameters, even including the gas token choice. You can have your own token as the gas token for a game developer, for example. So I liked that idea, the subnet idea. I think subnets with Avalanche will explode. That's what I believe, not a financial advice, of course. And we're happy so far. And the project that won the Avalanche hackathon I mentioned, was actually a GameFi subnet project. And we had the idea of Game First, for example, Game First for GameFi. And it turned out to be Game Studios First for GameFi, because we realized that great games are developed by great game developers only. And so we need to onboard in GameFi 2.0, now we need to onboard real game developers, real game studios. And they're not blockchainers. And they love game development so much, and then want to keep doing what they love doing and what they're good at doing. And blockchain technology, the learning curve is steep. So, and they hear hacking stories, they got scared. So they're interested in the blockchain, what it has to offer, but they have this resistance. With our advanced blockchain team, we wanted to solve that problem. So we created this platform where you can, as a game studio, you can register, create your studios, and under your studios you can create your games or apps, and you could create your own tokens per game, double token, single token, deflationary, inflationary, just by filling in web forms and pushing some buttons with tooltips and tutorials, and all the smart contracts and everything are automatically created for you, tested and deployed for you. And it's developed by the hackathon winners, by a top technical team. It's like hiring the best team for yourself, like a mainnet technical level team for yourself. So that was the project that won the Avalanche hackathon. And we've been in contact with the top team since then. And we were very busy in developing our own GameFi framework, but we will now, from now on, with the subnet we're working on, we're going to be communicating more deeper, I believe, with the Avalabs team, which I find very technical. And also Avalanche has some funds to help you around. So we're just applying for those funds now. Now is the time with our mini game. So we're very happy so far, I might say.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And also we are sponsoring we're one of the sponsors of the Avalanche Summit Hackathon as the Hackathon Championships, and I'll also be giving a workshop the first day of the hackathon and share my experience.
Yeah, so as the defending champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure you'll get this question a lot.
Yeah.
How do you win?
Oh, okay. That's what I'm going to be talking about maybe. First day of hackathon,
okay.
like 2 days later. But yeah, well, it's not about winning. Winning is so much fun.
A bonus.
Such a satisfaction.
Yeah.
Winning a mainnet hackathon, winning an Avalanche hackathon, mainnet hackathon, these are not easy, but it's also so much fun and satisfaction. And also, you know, from marketing perspective, it helps you, you know, seen a lot by other participants of the ecosystem. But I would say we had more fun being in the hackathon with our, you know, developer friends, brothers and sisters, helping out each other during the hackathon. Participating is good enough, you know, even if you don't win. And helping out each other. But also, it's of course a good place for business development as well. VCs and all other parties of the ecosystem are there, so you showcase your project. But I don't know any, you know, tips that will guarantee you win. You have to work hard.
Absolutely.
But one thing may be that Kevin, when he opened up the hackathon that we participated, he listed the criteria. And the two criteria I love the most, and he stressed, and he said uniqueness and impact. So impact is important. Uniqueness, of course, it's no-brainer. It has to be unique to stand out. But impact is important. It should have a lot of impact on the crypto evolution in contributing to the space and to the people. So if your project has a good impact, I think it increases the chance to win.
Absolutely. Wow, you heard it.
Yep.
So where do you hope to see the future of Heroes Chained and Inventuna games?
Okay, first, Inventuna Games will be developing other games as well, and Heroes Chained is our first game. So as I said, as developers, mainly from the conventional software business, we used a lot of object-oriented best practices, design patterns, and everything, and we focused on the framework development at the first phase. So at the beginning, you don't do a lot of gameplay demos and everything, but you keep building this sound infrastructure. This is better for the long term, because since day one, we have always told the people, the community, that it's a long-term project. If you have sound software tools that you can use, you can add, contribute, expand your game, not only in terms of the world, the classes, assets, dungeons and everything, but also in terms of gameplay experience. So in the long term, you have the efficiency edge. So that's one of the reasons why also we had this fixed cap single currency. We believe that in the long term, the economy will grow due to this approach, fundamental development approach. And we wanted to have this direct, simple correlation between the in-game currency, which is the single only currency, both the governance currency and the growth of the economy of the game. So we're very long-term on Heroes Chained. And we're also, it's an RPG game. We have PvP, PvE, dungeons, you know. We will have alliances, allowing places for clans, classical RPG gamers. We're combining the trends like auto battler, real-time card play, and also other modes of exploration and everything, growing your guild in the game, and etc.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much, Ersin, for your time.
I thank you. My pleasure. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. We'll see you later. Bye.